Hello YouTube, ElliottMan1998 here, and I'm about to show you my official review for Ubuntu 13.04. Official Linux distribution review. Now, I figured as my first review of a Linux operating system, I should do one that's popular and easy to use. So I've decided to do none other than Ubuntu. I'm currently running the latest version, 13.04. I'd just like to take a look at what this operating system has to offer, if there's any bugs, what features it has, etc. Now, Ubuntu is one of the simplest operating systems for Linux. It's a fairly simple interface that's easy to get a grasp on. Now, keep in mind, if you're coming from a different operating system like Windows or Mac, it probably will seem a bit strange to you because it does not resemble either of them very much. But if you decide to just wipe your hands clean and learn the interface, it's actually very simple and intuitive to do. For example, just viewing all your main files, you just go to the top left and click the dash home button. Here you have instant access to your most recent programs, documents, etc. For example, here's just some of my most recent apps that I've used. Along the bottom you have your different lenses, as they're called, or basically pages. Here we have all our different applications, which you can view what are recently used, what you have installed, and you can find suggestions right here, as well of other applications that might be helpful or beneficial to you. The next lens is files and folders. This kind of lets you view like a miniature file browser. Now, at this point, I don't have any files or folders. Next is your music collection, your photos, and your videos. Now, keep in mind for all of these, for example, I don't have any videos on here, but it pulls up suggestions of videos that I might like. And this will actually tailor based on your internet search results, what you search for videos online, stuff like that. So this will tailor to what kind of videos you like and give you suggestions. Now, speaking of online content, you might notice some of these videos are paid. If we go into apps, you'll know some of these apps that they're suggesting are paid as well. Which takes me to something very interesting about Ubuntu and a lot of Linux distributions these days, is their software centers. Now, since Linux and distributions that run on Linux aren't nearly as popular as Windows and Mac, at least at this point, as much as a lot of us would wish they were, it can be harder to find software for them. So what a lot of distributions are doing, they're creating repositories, or basically centers of software, mostly free, where you can download just hundreds, thousands and thousands of apps. Now, Ubuntu's Software Center is one of the best I've ever seen, and I'll show you that right now. If we go to the dock on the left here, and we'll open the Ubuntu Software Center. And it comes up, as you can see, it's loading here, and a very clean interface. It personally kind of reminds me of the App Store for iOS Apple devices. It just kind of looks like that to me. You come to this homepage, it shows you some of the latest featured apps, shows you what's new, some of the most popular apps, and what's really cool about this, you can get reviews written by other people on different apps and see what they think. You can even write your own reviews. So there are thousands of apps in here, and they're all split into different categories, so you can search by category, or you can use the search box in the top right to actually search by keyword for a product if you know what it's called. Now, I personally find this to be very nice to use, and most of the software in here is free. For example, it comes with LibreOffice, which is the Office suite. Now, most of the programs in LibreOffice come installed on Ubuntu by default. However, there are a few additional ones you may wish to install as well. Which leads me to some of the software coming on here. As I stated a minute ago, LibreOffice, which is equivalent to Microsoft Office. By default, it comes installed with equivalents to Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. You can also download other programs like Draw, which is equivalent to like a Microsoft Visio or Visual Studio. There's a couple others. As far as productivity, that's what it comes with as an Office suite. If we filter results, we'll just take a look at accessories really quickly. Some of the most important ones here, we have a simple text editor, your terminal, screenshots, take a screenshot of your screen, and we have contacts and calculators, some of the most important ones. If we take a look in education, not much in here at this point. However, there's a ton of suggestions that you can find through the Software Center and on Amazon. So as you can see, most of the programs it's suggesting here through the Software Center are completely free. This is just a few out of the many. As far as games, comes with a couple already. You have Solitaire, Mahjong Titans, Mines, which is like Windows Minesweeper, and Sudoku. Here you see there's a few more suggestions. There's hundreds and hundreds of games in the Software Center. Here's just a few of them. For graphics, it comes with Document Viewer, Image Viewer, LibreOffice Draw, the Shotwell Photo Manager, which I find to be very nice as far as organizing your photos, and a Simple Scan, which is a scan utility. You can connect your printer and scan files to and from Ubuntu. As far as internet, installed comes with desktop sharing to share desktops with other people, Empathy instant messaging, which is the chat program. You can pull in a lot of social networks into Empathy and chat. For its web browser, it uses Firefox, a great choice. It's constantly staying up to date, and I'll show you it right here just to prove that. It is the latest version of Firefox at this point, 20.0. Firefox is constantly updating with new versions. Mozilla's coming out with a new version every few weeks. It's kind of annoying in my opinion, but whatever. You have remote desktop client lets you control other computers and have others control you. Great for technical support. Thunderbird Mail is the email client by Mozilla as well. Great choice, very solid and stable. You may have noticed I skipped Skype. Skype is not installed by default. It does not come in Ubuntu. However, you can download it from the Software Center, which I did, as you can see. Finally, it's the BitTorrent client transmission. If you ever get torrent downloads, which can be beneficial in some cases, completely illegal in others. I personally have not used transmission much. I'm more familiar with uTorrent, but I'm guessing, based on what I've seen from it, it seems to be fairly solid and work fairly well. As far as media, it comes with the Brasero Disc Burner for burning discs, Rhythmbox Music Player, which was very solid. I've never had any problems with it. Seems to work very well. Has plenty of features. And videos, Video Manager and Viewer. Of course, some more suggestions here of DVD encoders and stuff like that. Once again, hundreds of different options in the Software Center. For Office, once again, LibreOffice it comes with, along with a document viewer, and some other helpful accessories and Office productivity tools in the Software Center. So, this has just been a quick review of Ubuntu. I personally find it to be a very snappy, easy-to-use operating system, allowing you to get tons of software. It comes with a great selection out of the box, and thousands more in the Software Center. Web browsing seems to be very quick and fluent. Oh, interesting Google logo for today. Everything just seems to work very well, and I have to say, if you're new to the Linux distribution, and apparently I can't type today. If you're new to Linux distributions and you're looking for an operating system, this is definitely one of the best to use. It's definitely different from Windows and Mac, and the interface might confuse you at first. But if you are able to jump the edge of interface changes and just take a clean, fresh look at this, you'll find it's very fast, very simple to use, and very intuitive, especially with the powerful software it provides, courtesy of LibreOffice and all the other accessories. Overall, I give Ubuntu a score of 9 out of 10. Very solid, very fluid. The only downside I have to this is the fact that the system customization seems to be fairly limited, and I'll show you what I mean here. If we go into appearance for customization, all we have to change is the wallpaper and our theme. Here's all lighter, slightly more vibrant theme, which isn't a problem. I guess Ubuntu is in a way being targeted towards somewhat beginner users of Linux, so that's not a problem. It's just overall system settings feels like there could be a slightly more variety, but in general Ubuntu is a great operating system. They update it with new versions every 6 months, and then every 2 years they have a long-term support release, which will be supported for 5 years. A lot of time frames there, hope I didn't confuse you. But basically updates every 6 months with new versions, and the software on the system always stays up to date. So great job with Ubuntu. I'll see you in my next review. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. See ya.